What's up, everybody? It's George here. We're back with another video. Now today we're going to take a break from the Goblin 500 and do an unboxing. We're going to be unboxing the Blade 130X. Now you may ask yourself, why'd you get another micro? And the answer is simple. Getting to the park is an ordeal. I got to load everything in the car and drive out there, and I generally do that on the weekends. But during the week I can usually find a little time before dinner and after dinner to get out in the yard and get a little stick time. Currently I've been flying the MQX, which is a quad. It's a lot of fun, but it's not a helicopter. I've also been flying the MCP-X V2, which is a capable little helicopter, a little twitchy, but it's really small and sometimes hard to see. I've also been flying the Blade 300X in the yard, and that's just a little bit too big for the yard. Good for hovering, but that's about it. I thought that the 130X would be the perfect in-between, and after seeing what Snotlobber can do with that thing, I know it's going to be a good helicopter for me to improve my 3D skills and get some orientation practice. Why don't we go upstairs to the dining room, open up the box, and see what's inside. Here it is, the Blade 130X. As you can see in typical Blade fashion, very nice packaging, a lot of information on the box. You can really get a good clue of what you're getting. This is the bind and fly version. I'll be using my Spectrum DX8 to fly this, but it also comes in a ready-to-fly version with a radio if you're interested. I've already taken the styrofoam packaging out of the box, so we can get right on with the unboxing. First thing out of the top of the box in typical Blade fashion is the packet. First thing out of the packet, we have the manual. I always say you should read through the manual. There's some good information in it. There's information on setting up your radio and binding. I would definitely take a quick look through. Next thing out is an additional smart binding information card. Smart binding is binding with your radio and letting it stay for 5 or 10 seconds. I'd read the card real quick. Next out of the box is the LiPo instructions. If you're not familiar with charging LiPo batteries, you'll probably want to look through there. And it looks like they give us the tool kit. And this tool kit has 2 Allen wrenches and a screwdriver. It's nice they give you the tools that you need in case you need to repair it. They also give you a little packet. It has some gears and some links. I know that on the MCP-X V2 I've lost a couple links before, so I'm glad they've given you some spares. And finally, an extra set of blades, and these are the performance blades. They don't have the bullets, which I would imagine that the bullets are on the helicopter. Let's go ahead and open it up. And first thing that we see is the typical Selectra charger. I'm glad they included a charger and a 110 volt wall adapter. Very nice. I like when they do that. You get one battery. This is a 300 milliamp 2-cell battery. I actually went and I bought a second battery so that I could spend a little bit more time flying. And the last thing out of the box is the helicopter itself. Looks very nice, and I would venture to say that it is a little bit bigger than the MCP-X V2 and a little bit smaller than the 300X. Why don't we take it downstairs, put it on the bench, and get a closer look. I have the Blade MCP-X V2, the Blade 130X, and the Blade 300X lined up for a size comparison. And as you can see, the Blade 130X is right in between the two, and I think it's going to be a perfect yard flyer. There's some other differences beside the size. Let's talk about the electronics. The Blade MCP-X V2 and the Blade 130X both have the AS3X technology, while the 300X is using an AR7200BX for its stabilization system. The tails are also different. The Blade MCP-X V2 has a brushed motor tail. The Blade 130X has a torque tube tail. This will be my first ever torque tube tail. And finally, the Blade 300X has a belt drive tail. So there is some differences, but I think the Blade 130X is going to be the perfect size for flying around the yard. Let's go ahead and pull the canopy off and take a closer look at the 130X. Okay, I've removed the canopy and the battery so we can get a closer look, and why don't we go ahead and start at the top. Let's start with the blades. The blades are carbon fiber. They're 135 millimeters in length, and these are the bulleted blades. Normally I don't fly with the bulleted blades, but I'm going to give these a shot and see how they go. Moving down, we do have a carbon fiber main shaft. I'm sure that's going to be plenty strong enough in the event of a crash. And the swash plate is a composite swash plate. Once again, I'm sure that's going to do a really, really nice job. Moving down, we see the motor. The motor is a 6730 kilovolt brushless in-runner motor. This is my first in-runner motor, and I'm curious to see how it does. One thing that I like that they did is on all of the servo connectors, they put in a strain relief in the event of a crash. You're not going to break your servos. That's a nice addition that they've done. The torque tube is a carbon fiber square torque tube for extra strength, and they've also included braces on either side to help stabilize it. That's really nice. The tail system is a shaft drive tail system. Once again, this is my first time with a tail drive shaft system, and I'm really curious to see how it does. The skids seem very beefy and a lot stronger than the skids you normally see on micro helis, and I'm really glad that they added a little bit more support there. The canopy is a standard canopy from Blade. Nice graphics, nice paint job, and it really looks nice. Finally, the battery. This is a 2-cell 35C battery, 7.4 volts, and I'm sure it's going to supply plenty of power to this helicopter. Overall, it looks very good. They've put a lot of thought into the engineering. Why don't we head over to the studio and wrap this up? Okay, so we talked about it, we unboxed it, we put it on the bench and compared it to the MCPX V2 and the Blade 300X, not only in size but in feature sets. We removed the canopy, took a close look under the hood, talked about a lot of the features, and overall, I gotta say this is a great looking helicopter. I've seen people like Snotlobber really smack this thing down, and it really holds up well and does a good job. I've seen lots of videos on YouTube, and I'm sure this is going to be a welcome addition to my helicopter fleet. I can't wait to get out and give it a try, and the next thing to do is give it its maiden flight. I'm going to get a hold of my son, have him run the video camera, and the next video will be a maiden flight of the Blade 130X. Be looking for that soon. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy flying, friends!